Previous team also won at the baseball ground in the league.
Four on the wall, Giles, Bremner, Hunter and Clark. And this is Durbin. He bent it! Not on! Lorimer! And Bolton has got it at last. And that's a penalty. And it had to be given. Lorimer was floored, quite unnecessarily, when Bolton had the ball. Three minutes to half-time, it's one each, and Peter Lorimer showed his nerve there. It was sheer bedlam. Alan Durbin with the kick, McFarlane's up. Hands by Bremner, and the ball was over the line anyway. Hunter went down, and what's the referee given? He was pushed, he's given another penalty. Two-two. Madeley. Todd. Oh, Clark! 3-2!
Derby's grip on the league title had slipped, but they still managed a rare victory at Highbury. The scorer here was a young man who made club history in the championship season when he made his senior debut at the age of 16. His father had also been a distinguished Derby player.
Very well taken free kick, and Derby have got men over here. Davis to Powell. So simple.
What was not so simple was the chicanery that surrounded Derby's Champions Cup defeat by Juventus in the semi-final. The following season would see the club in turmoil, although things started well enough.
Webster. Davis. McGovern.
John McGovern's goal was enough to beat Chelsea, but in September the exultation turned to consternation when Clough and Taylor sensationally resigned. Match of the day was there.
And there in the stand is Brian Clough. There was a lot of speculation about whether he would get into the ground. He's not in his normal seat, but he is here, and listen to the crowd. The chairman there answering the catcalls of the Derby crowd as the players prepare to kick off. That was Newton. Davis. Nice turn. This is Hinton. Newton's pushed forward as well. There's Davis. Hector! No one seems too sure, but Weller is now taking another free kick from further back, probably wrongly placed. Worthington, and away by Davis. Given back to Leicester by Gemmell. Here's Worthington with a chance. Yes! Well taken, Worthington. But really, Derby have only got themselves to blame. Here's Davis. Hinton. McGovern's on the far post. Oh, my word!
Derby's players were not celebrating off the pitch. They staged their own sit-in protest at the departure of the management team and threatened to strike unless Clough and Taylor were reinstated. Eventually, their anger cooled, and they accepted the appointment of an erstwhile Derby favourite, the Rams' former captain, Dave Mackay. In retrospect, he was arguably the only suitable choice, a born leader who commanded respect on and off the field. Mackay had cut his managerial teeth at Swindon and Nottingham Forest, and although the reaction to Clough's departure meant 6 games without a win, Derby got their first victory under Mackay at Newcastle.
This is Gemmell. McGovern. Davis. And a goal by Roger Davis. Right against the run of the play. But on the break, it's Gemmell for Derby. Taking on Clark. Oh, coming to Hinton. 2-0. And the inevitable has happened.
With a run of only 2 defeats in 19 games, Derby recovered to finish third.
That was Davis. That was Hector. That was McFarland.
An injury sustained playing for England meant Roy McFarland would miss almost the entire 1974-75 season. But Derby, with Mackay's signings, Bruce Rioch here and Francis Lee, both fitting in perfectly, won the championship nonetheless.
Newton. Lee, Newton, Rioch.
Rioch scored 15 goals from midfield as Derby marched to their second championship in 4 eventful seasons. His deadly shooting made him top scorer in a team that was also back in Europe. In the UEFA Cup, victory on penalties over Atletico Madrid earned the Rams a third-round tie against Yugoslav opponents, the first leg at Derby.
It's an awkward ball, well taken by Tom, and then he's done a chance for Vladic. So Vladic has got a vital away goal in the opening moments of this match. His ball. Hector, ball, yes! Born again. Webster, Hinton. Oh, what a brilliant goal! A superb goal by Alan Hinton. Here's Gemmell. Born! Will he go? Yes, it does!
Despite that 3-1 win, Derby lost 4-1 in the second leg. But in the league, they put in a tremendous spurt after Christmas, starting at Main Road, where one man had a match and a moment he would never forget.
There's Davis. Gemmell. Brave header by Newton, who now has a chance. And scores superbly. Marsh. Bell. Nish. Lee. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh! Look at his face! Just look at his face!
Lee's face was one of 6 new ones compared to the championship team of 1972. Without the injured McFarland, there were 5 survivors from 3 years earlier in Mackay's title team.
Brian Clough left a lot of great players here, and they're still here, and I hope they're still enjoying the football. It's a gradual sort of takeover as players get older. I've got to bring players in, and I can only be judged on bringing in the players. I bring in Bruce Rioch to score goals, which he's doing, Francis Lee to entertain, to score goals, which he's doing.
Lee was a box of tricks on the field, where his experience gained with Manchester City and England proved invaluable to Derby. And off the pitch, he was just as irrepressible. In McFarland's absence, Archie Gemmell captained the victorious Derby side. And a bonus for the Rams and their supporters was a visit to Wembley for the Charity Shield against FA Cup winners West Ham.
George. Hector. That's it! Derby's 5th corner. Making it 5 apiece. Lee. Hector. McFarland the scorer. Mervyn Day hurt by the attempted back flick by Hector.
The new flair player in the Derby outfit was Charlie George, and what a night he had in the European Cup against Real Madrid.
Todd. Ball by Bolton in the Real half. Here's David Nish. Gemmell. George! Oh, I say cracker! Applause all around the ground, and my word, he deserved it. That's as good a first-time shot as you'll ever see. And here's Lee. And he's given it the penalty. Lee pushed from behind by Camacho. And the referee right there pointing to the spot. Charlie George with a chance of his second and Derby's. Marvellous start for Derby County. They couldn't have wished for this in their wildest dreams. Sol. Amancio. p-3! Beautifully made goal. p-3, the scorer, current Spanish captain. There's more room on the other side. Father might still use it. Nish. Good try, and he's got it! The goalkeeper's expression summing it up. Gemmell. George. Hector. Yes, says the referee. Nets his tackle on Hector. And Charlie George with a goal that could put Derby County in round 3 of the European Cup. They have a 3-goal advantage from the first leg. And there is a very unhappy man.
But despite George's hat-trick, Derby contrived to lose 5-1 in Madrid and went out on a 6-5 aggregate. In the league, Match of the Day picked another cracker between Derby and Leeds.
Cherry! So, Leeds' start has paid off. They've taken the game to Derby in the first 10 minutes, and that's their reward. It was won by Todd, who's now got two to his right. Number 11 is George. Good effort, and Gemmell has equalised for Derby. Leeds have got 4 back now. And Lee goes down, and a penalty given against Norman Hunter to put Derby County 2-1 ahead. Here's Lee. Good try, and Harvey at full stretch. And a fight going off the ball between Hunter and Lee. The fists were flying, and that's been brewing for quite some time. And still, the Leeds players trying to keep them apart. But quite how much of that the referee saw, I'm not sure. But he's got to take some action. The book obviously out. Norman Hunter's name going in. And the referee is waving the other players away. And Lee is booked also. And I'm wondering if he sent them off, because they're wandering away to the far side of the field. And it looks to me as if it's broken out again. It's broken out again, and now this time a complete free-for-all. Lee and Hunter were walking across to the far side, and it all started all over again. And I'm sure they must have been sent off this time anyway. Gordon Guthrie taking Lee away, and Hunter's going as well. And whether or not they were sent off the first time, they're certainly off the second. So a corner to Leeds, who still trail 2-1. Here's Bremner. Gray. McKenzie! 2 each. Davis. It's a good run by Davis. And what a superb goal! Two minutes